Howdy do y'all, this is John, and today we are talking about The Patriot, a movie that came out in 2000 starring Mel Gibson. And in The Patriot, it deals with this simple farmer from South Carolina. It's the American Revolution. He's trying to stay out of the war, but then a certain event occurs that forces him to join the Patriot, the Continental cause, and fight for independence, which technically he already believes in. He just simply didn't want to get involved in another war. But war is forced upon him, and now he has to fight. Okay, so to get things started, first and foremost, happy Independence Day, everyone. This is why I, am doing this recording, because of what the day means. It's been 250 years. Like, that's a long time. And I figured, it's about time I did something for Independence Day this time. So let's get this started. One of my favorite aspects about this movie is its story. On the paper, it's a simple revenge story. But in terms of what they put in the movie, all of that turns into an epic of immense proportions. Because you have the main character played by Mel Gibson, you have his son played by Heath Ledger, and the romance he develops with this lady. You have this huge story about this militia forming to fight off the British, and to top it all off, you have arguably one of the most despicable villains in movie history. Like, there's no way to love this guy. He's just pure evil. Of course, I'm talking about Colonel Tavington, played by Jason Isaacs. Great performance. Like, Jason, his character Tavington's just pure evil. He's not like some of the other British characters in the movie where they have some semblance of honor. This guy's just pure evil. And for those of you who don't know Tavington, he is based off a real figure in the American Revolution, Bannister Tarleton. Tavington's definitely a lot more extreme than Tarleton. Tarleton did commit some actual war crimes, like cutting down surrendering troops, which you see Tavington do, but Tavington, like, he does stuff even Tarleton wouldn't do. Take an entire town of Patriots, throwing them into the church, setting it on fire, everyone dying inside. Tarleton never went that far, but he did commit war crimes, just like you see Tavington do. And since, I touched on Jason's performance, I should also touch on Gibson's and some of the others. Which Gibson, that guy's just a powerhouse of an actor. And Gibson, like, unleashes everything in this movie. Like, everything about his performance cries a rageful father. A rageful father who is angry. It's easy to say that, the British clearly made a mistake going after his kids, and, well, they clearly did. The movie's also got the breakthrough performance of Heath Ledger, who has since gone down in history as the Joker in The Dark Knight. I read something about he was considering quitting acting before he got this role. Apparently, a lot of the roles he was getting just were not helping him at all. This movie, however, put him on the map for a lot of people. Is it his best performance? I would say not really, but he does a dang good job in the film, playing this guy who just wants to protect his family, his brothers, his father, his sisters, then later his wife and girlfriend, And there does come this moment where his character does unleash pure rage, where you can, you think he was Mel Gibson's son, even though he's not. As far as the directing goes, Roland Emmerich, this was back during his prime. And Emmerich, could make anything entertaining. Emmerich had this, ability to make an entertaining movie even if the script was bad. Thankfully, however, Robert wrote a tremendous screenplay. Very dang good story of epic qualities. And Emmerich, who usually does, large scale B movies, was able to adapt and make a true epic. As far as the visual element goes, Caleb Deschanel's cinematography is tremendous. Caleb, he's one of the masters of cinematography. He's very much up there with people like Roger Deakins, where if you manage to hire him, you're gonna have a visual masterpiece. No doubt about it. There's just no competing with someone like Caleb or Deakins. And Caleb is extremely, extremely on point in this movie with, the camera work, framing, lighting. Like I said, the guy, he knows what he's doing. He showed in this movie. Great job. I also have to compliment the costume work in the film. The costume designers all did a great job creating the outfits that the characters wore in the film. And also, as time passes, making them look clearly used, but not ugly. A little button missing here or there, a little mild stain. Nothing too extreme, but also adding realism to it. I do have to say, though, that the CGI effects haven't aged the greatest. It's not the worst. I should point that out. But also at the same time, it ain't aged as well as Gladiator. Gladiator, you still notice the CGI in that, but it don't look too bad. In this movie's case, it's a little worse. And, a lot of people complain about John Williams' musical score, and how it's lazy and stuff. I will admit it's not his best by any stretch of the imagination. But I do think it's a pretty underrated score. Not as underrated as War of Worlds. But his music in this movie, again, it's not his finest moment, but it is, something that works for the movie. Now I need to talk about the combat in the film. Some of the best Napoleonic Wars era combat ever, committed to film. This isn't some safe, sanitized movie about the American Revolutionary War. It is a movie about the sacrifices that over 20,000 Americans made to make this country a free country. 250 years and counting. They did not shy away from the brutality or the horrors any of these patriots witnessed. In terms of problems with the movie, I would complain a lot about historical accuracy, but that's not what this movie's going for. It's a work of historical fiction. It's about a real event, but it's a fictional story set in the real event. There are some things that I wish they had gone right, I will admit that. They sit there and talk about how Washington's being chased by Clinton in the North. In reality, the North had turned into a stalemate with Clinton being besieged in New York City by Washington. No one was chasing after each other. Really, that's kind of a nitpick because, again, the movie's not going for historical accuracy. it's historical fiction, a fictional story set in a historical moment in, you know, history. On the other hand, if this was a serious, history based movie like 300 tried to claim it was, I would be nailing this movie to a cross. So, guys, at the end of the day, The Patriot, it's a great movie and arguably the best movie about the American Revolution. Again, it's not going for historical accuracy, it's historical fiction, that's it. It's got a great story to it. You root for this guy to get his vengeance. The performances, the main ones are all great, especially from Mel and Jason Isaacs. Visually speaking, it's a beautiful looking movie. The battle scenes are intense. If you guys have not checked it out yet, I highly recommend doing it this Independence Day. And The Patriot deserves a 10. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great Independence Day. I do think we need to go back to calling it Independence Day instead of the 4th of July. Because the 4th of July, it just sounds like the whole point of it being called that is to forget about what it is. It's the day we declared independence from Great Britain 250 years ago. This is a very important moment in history. I don't think it should be forgotten, even if this country falls apart, which hopefully that never happens anytime soon. Like I was saying, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please don't forget I also have a secondary channel where I do gaming content. Please go check it out. And as per usual, please remember, the Patriots will return.